your spirit ground.
Yes, hey everybody, welcome back. Tiffany here. I am honored to have the beautiful, athletic Janee Kassanavoid. Thank you for being here.
Yes, Marwewe. Thank you for having me, and I'm super excited to chat and to dive into some conversation.
Awesome. So you want to give us a little bit of background, who you are, who your people are, where you come from?
Yes, yes. Marwewe, Janee Kassanavoid, Nase Namana. I am a professional hammer thrower for Team USA, a Nike athlete, and a part of the N7 family. I was born and raised in Lawson, Missouri, which
Okay.
is about 40 miles north of Kansas City, and I currently live and train in Florida. And I am gearing up for the World Track and Field Championships in Tokyo in September.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So,
Tokyo, how
yes,
fun.
I'm
Um,
so excited.
yes, I would be too. That's one of my dream destinations. So have you been there before?
I have not. I have not been to Asia, so I'm excited to check that continent off. But I have traveled to many places, so I literally can't wait for Japan.
Yes. Okay. So when you were little Janae, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up?
Oh, the dream was definitely to be in the WNBA.
Okay.
I grew up with a very big love for basketball, and being the youngest of seven siblings, I grew up with three of them, a very, very competitive household. And my dad, at a young age, was our coach, and I was able to play up with my sister Jaren through our youth. And so I was just super competitive. I loved basketball. It was fun, and I just happened to like be really good at it. So that was always like the fun part of just being at the high level at a young age.
Oh, that's awesome. I know
Yes.
basketball is so fun. And I'm not sure if you saw the movie Res Ball, but it definitely is a big component of indigenous native
Mhm.
culture. It's
Yes.
so funny. Where I grew up, it was so competitive. I grew up on the Navajo Nation to where the high school I went to, Kirtland, and then the Shiprock, they would be get so rowdy. They'd be slashing each other's tires. It was crazy.
Oh, dang.
Just Redsies.
Yeah. No, I love that. Res Dogs is definitely on. Res Ball is definitely on my list to watch.
Mhm.
But I've seen some other really good like fire sports emotional movies about
Mhm.
indigenous communities, and it's just like you're in it. So I love that.
Yes. Okay. So how did you find hammer throw?
It definitely found me.
Okay.
I really had no idea what it was, and my only knowledge or reference was the movie Matilda
Okay.
with Principal Trunchbull, the hammer throw.
Oh.
So I dabbled in the springtime through middle school and high school with track and field. It was something to, socialize with friends and to stay in shape for, the summer, fall, and winter sports. And so I did a little bit of everything. I was a sprinter, a jumper, I did throwing, but I wasn't like the strongest, biggest built person growing up. I was pretty slim and tall, but I just kind of took to it really well. My oldest sister, Jasmine, threw shot put pretty far.
Uh-huh.
And so I really just did it for fun. But when it came to deciding if I wanted to play sports at the next level in college, talking about scholarships and hearing from coaches and kind of how I wanted to navigate my future, it just came up. And so I threw shot and discus, and I was recruited to Johnson County Community College. And that first day of practice in the fall, my coach was like, you're going to throw hammer, right? And I was like, what's the hammer? What are you talking about? So he brought it out. We were turning and doing some drills and really just kind of getting the hang of it.
Uh,
That was the first and last day. I got really, really dizzy, but then yeah, we're
oh,
11, 12 years later, one of the best in the world.
that is awesome. Yes, they said Comanche girl, tomahawk, hammer throw.
Yeah, it's in my blood.
Yes. So, okay. So how long did it take you to master that? Because it is just like poetry in motion. The fact that
Mhm.
you are have every muscle engaged, like you're going
Yes.
around so quick, and the to be able to be so precise to let it go forward within that little area. I'm just like, oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yes, definitely a special skill that has took
Mhm.
years to develop to get to the point that I'm at. But my first year as a freshman, I started out doing two winds and then three turns when I threw 53 meters to win the NJCAA championships. So I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. That was fun. I didn't really know the elite professional level. I was just like, we're just doing it and getting better and better. And then I got recruited to K State in Manhattan, Kansas. And then there, I kind of dropped all the other throwing events and was specifically a hammer thrower. From my sophomore year up until I graduated in 2018, I jumped to 68, just shy of 69 meters. And so within 4 or 5 years, the jump from 53 meters to 68, and then now throwing 78 meters. I mean, it's a massive jump,
Yeah.
but if you definitely have the time and the patience and the work ethic to just develop and become really good over time, that's just kind of what I was able to do. And now we're still seeing if there's more room for improvement. But yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. I was looking through your Instagram and I saw a little note card with everybody's distances, and yours was by
Oh,
far. I was like,
yeah.
"Dang, okay."
Yes, yes. I think at a track meet in college, and my coach noticed that there were some professional girls there throwing with us as well. And I was like, who are they? They seem like such a big deal, and everyone's fangirling over them. And he's like, oh, those are the pro athletes. One of them is American record holder, and they throw this far. And I was just like, whoa, that's impossible. Like, no way I could ever throw that far. And then here I am, like throwing further than that. And I'm just like, whoa, I never imagined it for myself, but just because I continue to work and continue to learn, like I just keep seeing progress. So it's been really, really fun.
Yes, I love that because it's just like continuously building upon your skill set. So, what's one
Yes.
thing you wish more people knew about your sport?
For the hammer, for sure, I definitely think it takes just a raw athlete that is super coordinated, super twitchy, is very explosive, dynamic, and powerful.
Uh-huh.
And I think because growing up, I played so many sports. I was a multi-sport athlete all the way through school. And in the summers, like I was just always involved athletically.
Uh-huh.
And so to learn something else, I think I just had a good foundation under me. And then of course, specializing just in one thing all year round to develop special strength set for that. I just really took to it pretty quickly. And I think that was a strength. And I still see today, like, what is the strength from me aside from the other world class hammer throwers, and especially the women, is just I'm just a raw athlete.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I think just also having a super competitive mindset and being super disciplined, it's really hard for me to give up for one, and then
Yeah.
just to not want to be the best at what I do. So that's also helped. But yeah, I just really take a lot of pride in being a strong female. And I think that's so important to the younger youth. And like, even as I was growing up and transitioning through all the different stages my body went through, like just kind of owning who you are and having that body confidence and knowing that strong is beautiful. Being a thrower doesn't mean, oh, you're just more naturally like bigger boned and heavier set sometimes, that you're just going to be a thrower. And so I feel like anyone can be a thrower if they really want to be. And if they work hard at it, they can be one of the best. So,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, that's it. That's a lot of discipline, a lot of training. So, what does
Yes.
a day of training look like for you when you're getting ready to compete?
Yes. So when I train, I usually start my season preparation in the fall. So for this 2025 season, I started in October, but we don't compete really until the spring since
Okay.
hammer is not an indoor sport. We're just an outdoor sport. So
Uh-huh.
I started up full swing, full time. In October, I train 5 days a week, lift 3 days a week.
Oh,
Training
wow.
normally lasts like 3 to 4 hours of just physical activity. And then I also have appointments for massage, chiropractor, just, everything that we can do to stay competing and training at the highest levels. And then kind of when competition starts up in May, running through championship time, which is September, it's a pretty long, hard year. And it's so important to just keep your body in tune, keep it nice, strong, and healthy, your sleep, your hydration, your fuel, every little part that you can improve is going to benefit you sports performance wise.
Wow. Okay, so the meals that when you're
Mhm.
doing all of this, is it pretty repetitive or are you making sure that you have like a whole month planned out or what does that look like?
Well, my education background is in dietetics, so a big focus on sports nutrition, health, and wellness. So for me, it's just a plus that I do enjoy eating like well balanced meals, but also just like colorful things. I wouldn't say I ever am at restriction or dieting or anything like that. I just love food that is healthy. So I enjoy eating lots of fish, fresh fish, sushi, things like that. Lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. Like those are probably my favorite foods. So
Yes.
I grew up heavily in the junk food and processed foods like hamburger helper. And now I can't remember the last time I had hamburger helper, but I just really appreciate like eating clean so that I
Uh-huh.
feel really, really good and I can train at my best.
Yes, it's so important, especially in the Native community, because
Mhm.
so much, like I grew up on Spam and canned the little wiener hot doggy things with saltine
The
crackers.
Vienna sausages, yeah.
Yes, with saltine crackers and
My
like,
mom loved that. We had that in our cabinets at all times.
and it's terrible for you.
Yes, yes.
Oh
But
my
I think it's
God.
so nostalgic for us to
Yeah.
all look back and be like the similarities we all had growing up, but how it was
Mhm.
also like kind of happy times growing up
Yeah.
too. And then if you kind of veered away from it, you can look back at it and be like, wow, crazy times.
Yes, because right now I'm super. Both of my parents have passed due to one heart attack and stroke, and so from then I was like, super. What am I supposed to be eating? I don't want that to happen to
Mhm.
me, and really revamped. More like you said, the whole vegetables and like um salmon. I really reduced meat. I did vegan vegetarian for a
Mhm.
lot of times, and really my panels have been really good. And so it's so funny
Mhm.
when I talk to my native friends, they're like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah. And my family's still the same way. When I come home or if they're here visiting, I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm gonna eat. This is what I'm gonna cook. And they'll be
Uh-huh.
like, turkey bacon? No, give me the real bacon. And
Yes.
I'm like, you can try it, you can eat it, it's good for you. They're like, no. So it's definitely hard, but
Mhm.
also just like through my education as well, like we were a huge statistic and at the high of the
Mhm.
percentages for chronic health diseases
Yes.
and nutrition, obesity, diabetes, all of those things, and things I also experienced firsthand in my household with my dad as well and him passing. So
Oh,
for me, I just took it as like, okay, how can we be better, and hopefully help the people around us be better too, with education and just kind of spreading awareness about it.
yes, 100%. Okay, so back to your training.
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
have mentors, mentors and like guidance and to get you to that peak conditioning? Well, besides
Yeah.
coaches, but uh-huh.
Yeah. The very first coach that I had who kind of saw me when I was recruited at K-State, he was just saw me throw and was like you're built, you're going to be, you're born to be, a world-class hammer thrower. So he was, of course, a very, very impactful person to have throughout my developmental career. And we worked together for 10, 11 years. And so he saw me through all my stages, the good, the bad, the ugly, the really hard times. And he's kind of just been there to help support me mentally and physically. But I definitely feel like the people who have came out the woodworks and have been super successful in the indigenous communities and in entertainment, Chef Piet, like seeing her on Iron Chef and
Oh,
all the
yes.
success she's had has been amazing. Amber Mid Thunder,
Yes.
in movies and acting and things like that, just seeing such beautiful, strong women get to the highest heights in their career. It's been motivating. But I think for me, like growing up, it was just my siblings. Like I kind of just always was inspired by their work ethic and how just good athletes that they were. And I was just like, oh, I'm going to beat you and be better. It took me a while, but we made it.
You made it.
Yeah. I like to say last one, best one, but they might hate me for that.
Okay, your next gathering, just wear
So
a shirt with like a little saying. See what they say.
they'll still fight me and argue to the death of who's the best athlete in the family. So
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't even try anymore.
I love that because in Indian country we produce such great athletes. Like my
Mhm,
son played football, and then he had a friend who was just wanted to be a pro football player, and he was
mhm,
so good. He's still pursuing that dream, and it's just like so amazing the athletes that we have. But
mhm.
some of them aren't able to meet their goals or their dreams just due to lack of support or
Yep.
finances, or maybe their grandparents are raising them, and they can't always make
Mhm.
the practices. So, some of that can't be helped, I think a lot of it is mental, right? So, what
Yep.
advice would you give to youth who are interested in being professional athletes?
It's definitely very hard. And as many people have said, if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Oh,
But I definitely think it comes from within. If you are very driven, if you are intrinsically motivated, you can do it alone. It's going to be very hard and you're going to be by yourself a lot. But I think if you're happy with yourself and you can be alone and be super hyper independent, you're going to make it very, very far. And not just in athletics, but just in life. And I think sport naturally builds so much character development and so much resilience and perseverance. And I think it has definitely done that for me in my career and my journey. So I know firsthand hard work pays off. And my mom, after my father passed, sports wasn't her thing, but she knew how much it was for my dad as he was our first coach and he was very, very hard on us just in everyday life. And so she kind of never let that die. She did whatever she could to keep us participating in sports. The four of us growing up every weekend at the ball field, at the gym, practices all year round. It's not cheap by
uh-huh.
any means.
Yeah.
And we definitely were those athletes or those players a part of teams that were sponsored or that, couldn't make the fees to play, but because we were just athletic and really, really good, they wanted us a part of those teams. And we were also 40 minutes out of the city. So it was just a lot of commuting, a lot of practices on the weekdays. It's very, very hard. But I definitely, give hats off to all the parents that are there and do have a hands in doing whatever they can for their kids. But it does definitely come from the athlete. If the athlete doesn't want it, if the athlete doesn't want to wake up and be like, I need to get to the gym today, I need to go work out on some drills or, make some baskets today, it's really, really hard to get to that professional level because you have to have that fire and that love inside to want to continue because it's a full-time job. It's no more, oh, I just love it and it's so much fun. I'm out here just because we got to pay the bills and we really got to love what we do to have fun at the end of the day.
Yes, that's such great advice that it has to be internal motivation, not just
Mhm.
for when the fans are there, but also when they're not seeing you, right?
Exactly. Yes.
That is so good. Okay, so what advice would you give your younger self looking back?
Oof, that's a hard one. I would definitely just say continue to trust the process because there have been some very like dark moments where I feel like it was that outside pressure of pleasing others and not just like what do you want out of this and why are you doing this, which my why was a huge part of my motivation. But I definitely think like just trust the process, that you are worthy and you are good enough, is a huge thing that anyone could say to anybody that would kind of push them in the right direction. So yeah.
Yeah, that is great because when you're going through something like that in your darkest days, you just keep going through it, and then you're gonna look back on the other side and be like, I made it. So that's great advice.
Exactly.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Thank you.
So as an athlete, I'm sure you hit some of those
Hmm.
dark days, especially when you were trying for the Olympics and
Hmm.
those moments. How did you well, you've built a lot of mental fortitude.
Yeah.
So after that point, like how did you reground and what did you tell yourself and to keep going?
Yes. After 2021 Olympic trials, that point in my career, it was really kind of that dream. Like, wow, we're really in the competition with the other professional athletes who are very experienced and have been at these high level competitions for a while. And I was just in it, kind of with that, I'm just happy to be here moment. I wasn't expecting much, but I was like, I also could make a team and be an Olympian, and that would be
Yes.
awesome. So falling just a little short that year, like I was, of course, heartbroken because 3 centimeters is really, really just a little bit.
Yes, oh my God.
But at the same time, it just kind of lit that fire again of we're so close. We want to get back to work, put our head down, and just be better because of it. But then after the 2024 Olympic trials last summer, that one was more of like, we have grown so much and we are so much stronger. We are now, this is our full-time job. We've taken a million throws in our lifetime, but to come so short and just have the worst day of what felt like in my career, to where the competition really just slipped from my fingertips and there wasn't anything that I could do. That one was just kind of soul crushing
Mhm.
because I wanted it more than I did in 2021. And I didn't expect more, have any more pressure. It was just like, I felt like it should have been cake, step in the ring, you've got it, you're confident, we deserve this, and then just get after it. But that wasn't the case. So it was nice to have my family there to not allow myself to crawl into a dark hole.
Mhm.
And my coach was there as well, just to be like, it's okay. We still have more competitions. You're still an amazing athlete. You still have made world teams. You still have had, medals, which is a huge accomplishment as a U.S. hammer thrower to go to high level meets and win medals. Not many people can say that they have done that. And so for me, that's a huge accomplishment. And honestly, if I would have retired the day after the trials or tomorrow or 5 years from now, I still know that I would be known as one of the best hammer throwers in the United States. So, still happy
Yes.
about my career.
That's so awesome, especially as being first Indigenous woman. Like
Mhm.
that is so amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you did win your medal,
Mhm.
when they called your name, how did you feel? What was that moment? Take us there with you. Like,
Yes. My first world championship team and my first bronze medal in 2022 in
uh-huh,
Eugene, Oregon. That was again coming out of 2021. I was just a different athlete. I was so much stronger. I was so much more consistent, and I was just ready to go. Like no one could tell me different. Like you come in my way, I'm breaking through. And so it was just really exciting. It was exciting times. It just seemed like we kept one foot in front of the other and we didn't look back. And so going into that competition, it was just one throw at a time. And when we stayed up in third place and that last throw release, and I was like, all right, no one can beat me. Like I have third. Like
uh-huh.
that's the result. It was emotional, but I think that was one of those moments of realizing like we do deserve to be here. We have worked for this. And that was that payoff moment. And so it was very rewarding, very humbling, like a dream come true, honestly. Really
Uh-huh.
can't say much else. So when I went over to my coach and he handed me the American flag to hold, I was nervous. I was like, don't drop it. And then which way does it face and all of those emotions. And, he kind of pulled me in close and was like, your dad would be really, really proud of you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, oh, like the waterworks, of course, that
Yeah.
moment just flushed through. But yeah, I think it's a moment that I should be proud of myself because I think just my entire career I have been fighting to make him proud because he hasn't seen my athletic career because I was so young when he did pass. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
was a lot of things in that
Yes.
one moment.
A moment that he was there
So
with you, though. He was standing
yeah,
with you with all your ancestors. Oh, my
exactly.
God.
So it was a very, very memorable moment. And then the history making moment, probably one of my, best days.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I mean,
Yeah.
knowing that your dad was your first coach and that you had come so far, that is like so good.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So then when they confirmed to you that you were the
Mhm.
first Native woman to win the medal at the World Athletics Championship, how did that feel? Because that's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, because you have your personal moment, right? And then now
Yes.
it's like centered on like
Mhm.
who you are in the world, your placement. Hmm.
Exactly. Um, I had kind of thought about it days prior, and it was Brent with Indian Sports that kind of confirmed it. He sent me the text because I didn't want to say about it. I didn't want to speak on it in interviews. I wanted to be like 100% sure it was confirmed. And he texted me and he was like, "Hey, you're this," and I was like, "Okay, are we sure?" Like, because if you say it, then we're official and we can go forward and it'll be posted. And yeah, it was a super amazing moment. I was super excited and honored, but it was kind of takes me back and it's just like, wow, it is 2022 and I am the first Indigenous woman and like sports have been around forever and we are such amazing athletes. Like, how is it me at the same time? Like, I was kind of disappointed that it did take that long for one in sports and then in track and field. So it is a super rewarding title. And I was happy, but also it was 2 days before that, Jim Thorpe's gold medal was reinstated. So it was just kind of like a full circle moment of how one that shouldn't have ever happened with Jim Thorpe, but then that it did days before I competed, and then I had my history making moment. So it was like really impactful for Indigenous communities and in the sport of track and field. So I was super honored, and I hope I can continue to make history. But it was just a huge part of how I represent myself in sport and as an athlete and as a woman. So it just definitely made kind of my platform that much bigger.
Yes, that's so beautiful. I didn't know that about Jim Thorpe. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
And I can tell that you have a heart for your community. The fact that you wanted to confirm that before, we have some
Yeah.
people out there who are like, I'm the first Indigenous bubble, and they're not.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but
I did not want to.
but that tells me like you really honor your community because some people out there be
Yes.
like, I'm the first person to do it. It's like, wait, I don't
Yeah. Let
know.
me fact check that real quick.
Yes. So that is so amazing. And
Mhm.
I hope that um more young women go and break the records and
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So have you met little girls that are just like, yes, and they have Olympic hopes and all the good athlete things?
Yes, I definitely have met a couple of young athletes and some young Indigenous athletes, like when I attend the Comanche Fair
Uh-huh.
in the fall, and I meet a lot of people that follow me and have followed my journey. And I've talked to the Comanche Nation Academy, and so all the little kids there are just so in awe, and they don't even know what the hammer is, but they're just like, "You're a pro, and you've won medals, and you're so great." And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Yes, and you can too." And so it's very hard to speak on it to kids who are super young because at that age it was just like in one ear out the other, you're just starstruck. But it's like
Uh-huh.
really trying to get kids to understand like you work really hard, like you can accomplish really amazing things. And I just yeah, the support system is a big factor, and having someone there that can take you to practices and like keep you in it, keep you focused, because there are so many just life situations that happen and just you're just like okay, I gotta go make money or I have to pay rent or
Mhm.
this family member is going through it, so I need to help them and be there for that. It's just really really hard. But I do think sport is that kind of piece that can allow people to leave the distractions and outside life where it is and just go do what makes you happy and something that you're super passionate about. So that's kind of where I've been able to strive. And I hope that I can also just feed that back into the youth.
That is beautiful and so true because a lot of times the athletes just get sidelined by life, you know? But the
Mhm.
fact that you broke that glass dome, I mean, that is just
Yeah.
so amazing. Like, yeah, you're going
Mhm.
through it. So are you still
Yeah.
going towards the Olympics then, or are you focusing on the uh category you're in now?
Yeah. Definitely focused on the day by day and the year at hand. But
Yes.
2028, I would love to train for it. It
Uh-huh.
being in LA, it's definitely
Oh, yeah.
still a dream of mine to be an Olympian. It's just me in the Olympic trials don't want to make me be great. But no, I think that would be a dream come true to compete on homeland, home soil. I think it'd be
Uh-huh.
a very empowering moment as an Indigenous athlete and having such a community back behind me. So I definitely would love to do that. It's just kind of just staying healthy. I just turned
Mhm.
30 this year, and so still training at a high level. Resting is so important still. So would love to be there, but day by day right now.
Those indigenous genes, you look like
Yeah. Oh,
22, I swear.
thank you.
Okay, so travel. Let's talk about like
Mhm.
because you have been all over. I saw more recently you
Yes.
were Minsk, Hungary. Um, how was it visiting these places as a native person and a professional athlete?
Yes. For me, honestly, my first plane ride wasn't until in college. So growing up, we would just road trip everywhere, hop in the van, drive for hours through the night. That was family bonding. We didn't want
Yes.
to
Yes.
pull each other's hair out, but definitely traveling track and field has taken me all over the world. I've seen so many beautiful places. I've met so many beautiful people. It's really been an experience. The first international competition was Minsk, Belarus in 2019. That was the USA versus Europe competition. And I was terrified. I was so scared of like just the language barrier, currency,
Mhm.
do they have clean water? Like, and my ignorance kind of kicked in of like, I don't know much about the world. Like, do they have running water? Do they have electricity and all these things? Because I have never been exposed to anything of that nature. And so it was really, really great to go to Europe, to go to Kenya, to go hopefully now to Tokyo, Japan.
Uh-huh.
It's just been an amazing opportunity, and I'm so thankful. But it's also allowed people to kind of know who I am and be so intrigued and be so curious and excited to get to know me and to be Native American. Sometimes it seems in interviews or press conferences for competitions, like they're so drawn to me and my culture and our history in America than people in the US are. And I'm just
Uh-huh.
like, I love it because it just makes me so happy to talk about it. But sometimes people in the US are clueless sometimes.
I guess.
Um, so yeah, it's just been an amazing experience. And I just love traveling. I'm just always on the go, but I do love being home in my own bed every once
Yeah.
in a while.
Yes, I think everybody should be able to travel and get that
Mhm.
world view and go beyond the life daily hassles and and then you get a better perspective. I went to Fiji for a friend's birthday and there we were trying to tell them they thought we were either Mexican or Hawaiian or Maori. And they're like, no, no, we're tribal people. And they were like, we
Mhm.
don't know what you're talking about. And they were like, we're like Native American, and they're like, and they were like,
Indigenous, like how else can you explain
yeah, like
it? The
American
first people.
Yes. So then we're like American Indian. He's like, oh, Indian, like on the TV with the cowboys. And then from there, we're
Love
known
that
as
one.
the Red Indians.
Wow.
I know. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I usually always get that growing up. We would go to a Mexican restaurant and they would try to talk to me and my sisters, and we're like, "Ah, no habla español, lo siento. We're not Latina, we're not Hispanic,
Uh-huh.
we're not Mexican." And then we get Samoan or Hawaiian. And for
Uh-huh.
me, with my smaller shaped eyes, I'd get Oriental or something. And I'm like, no, no, keep guessing. And
Yes.
then when I would say, oh, I'm Native American, they're like, oh, what tribe? And they're just like taken aback. They're like, oh, like you're still here in a sense, or
Yes.
like we've been completely wiped out. And I'm like, yes, we're still here. I am here. I am Native. Yes.
I know. And it's almost like in the entertainment uh like we talked about Amber Midthunder, like she has these
Mhm.
huge roles right now on Novocaine and Opus, and those are like mainstream movies.
Mhm.
And but in the past, I would always I think it was called The Hateful Eight. It was done by Quentin Tarantino, and I'm just like, this doesn't help. This we're still here. Come on now.
Yes, and that's definitely what I have vocalized to many people, and especially in my sport, even people my age, older, younger. I have done so much awareness and
Uh-huh.
education. I'm just like, like it shouldn't. I have no problem doing it, but it shouldn't be coming from me. It should be coming from what you learned in school, and there should
Uh-huh.
be people in your community within your 30 years of life. Like, I'm still just blown away every time. And people ask me, like, when even going to school, they're like, oh, so do you live in a teepee and all these things? And
Yes.
I'm like, no, I live in a home. Like, it's modern America. Like, what is going on? And so, yeah. And then the ignorance of like, oh, well, your school's paid for you. You get all this money
Oh,
from the casinos. And I was like, you guys really just don't know. It's just what is assumed or word of
mhm.
mouth. And yeah, fun conversations.
I know. It's so like the constant having to educate people.
Yes.
Okay. So you are an N7 Nike ambassador.
Mhm.
That is so amazing. Like,
Yes.
first off, like Nike was such a big deal, has always kind of been a big deal. In entrepreneurship
Mhm.
classes, you learn about like they are the gold standard of branding because like
Yeah.
they just do it. Everything they come out with is exceptional. We learn like who they align themselves with. They're very particular about their messaging because they always want to be seen as a gold standard, excellence in athletics. And the fact
Mhm.
that you're in there, I mean, that
Yeah.
says so much right there. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's been a dream come true. And not even really like with Nike. Like, yes, Nike is one of the biggest shoe brand deals you could get in track and field.
Uh-huh.
But just to be a part of N7, like going through college and seeing a couple athletes, and there's a lot of males in the beginning, a lot of athletes starting it and them kind of sharing their stories and like getting some shoes and like them announcing things. I was like, how can I do this? Who do I need to contact? Like, this is the dream. If I work hard enough and I, get far in my sport, like we can really hopefully be a part of it too. And that was just what I was so driven towards. That was my goal. So it wasn't even like the Nike shoe deal. It was like, how can I be a part of N7?
Yes.
And I think just their apparel, their focus, their mission, giving back with the N7 fund.
Uh-huh.
Because again, sports is a cost and sport is not accessible to everyone. And that was a huge part of what I experienced growing up and being involved in sport. And so that meant so much to me. Their purpose and their mission is just what I aligned with so much. And then being a part of the campaigns where they kind of just uplift and highlight and share your story and your success and what you do. So being able to showcase Hammer and being able to kind of share my story and my journey, and then just giving you a voice to where I can talk about sport, the good, the bad, and I can talk about, the realness of what it is to be a professional track and field athlete. And it's not all rainbows and sunshine. It's really, really hard and it's very individual. So yeah, I've been super thankful for Sam McCracken and Trish when she first reached out because of my TikToks. We're going throwing hammer, we're going viral, and so yeah, it's just been just a breath of fresh air to be a part of it, and anything that I can do to help and vice versa, like all the opportunities I've been given, like I'm super, super thankful and honored to be a part of. So it's been amazing.
That is amazing, but you're an amazing athlete. I mean, don't sell yourself short. I mean, you're in there. You are like just watching your videos. No wonder why those TikToks went viral
Yeah.
because it's just like poetry emotion to me. I'm just like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, like every muscle engaged. Like it's so.
Yeah.
Do you have like a mantra or something that you do before your competition to be like, okay, like in the
Yeah.
age of affirmations and meditation,
For
like
sure. Yeah, I definitely on my training binder, it has every single program that I've ever done. But anytime that I'm given a sheet of paper that has my program or my workouts, I always kind of just think of a hashtag or a phrase or a motivational, inspirational quote, and I like jot it down. So every day I go to train, I kind of read it and like just truly believe it and work towards it. And then when I step into the ring before a competition, I just take a big breath to kind of settle the nerves, settle the adrenaline,
Uh-huh.
and just kind of reiterate strong, resilient Indigenous. And that's just kind of like, that's the backbone of who I am and why I do what I do. So it really just helps kind of ignite that fire and that passion in those competition, those high adrenaline, high pressure moments to kind of just go out and have fun and kind of make what we do beautiful, but also be a badass at it. So,
Yes, that's
yeah, that's
right.
just kind of, that's what we do.
That's awesome. I love that you have a catalog to go back to. And when you
Mhm.
read them, I'm sure that you associate them with that moment in time to be like, yes, this is what I did, you know?
Yeah.
That is so cool to have your whole because in the time of social media, you have your
Yeah.
whole record, right? Of you can go back at these times and look at things and not only for yourself, but also us, you know,
Mhm.
witnessing this for you. That is so
Yeah.
amazing. So do you
Yeah.
do
Young Janee.
but it's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
So do you do all your social media or do you have like a team?
Nope, just me. I do
Ah,
all the content creation, all the filming, all the editing, all the posting, any like partnership deals or communication for collaborations. Yeah, it's all me.
that is
So,
so good because
yeah.
I don't think people understand the amount of time that it takes to put into
Mhm.
content creation also. Um,
Yes.
because I've done a couple of TikToks where I did like the affirmation in the background and then different clips and stuff, and then you clip it together. Like that takes
Mhm.
time.
It does. And I'm just like, sometimes like, okay, I have all the content, I filmed it all. Like, let me just sit down 30 minutes real quick. And I have to put a headphone in where I'm just like hearing my voice over. And I'm like, ugh, gross. Ew, turn it off. I can't hear it anymore. And then I'm like, I just spent 30 minutes, or sometimes in the beginning, it was like 2 hours on a 30-second video, and I got 5 likes. Cool. Awesome. And then I'm just like, my family will play it. They're like my biggest fans. And I'm like, turn it off. I can't hear my voice out loud. Nope. I want to hear it. They're like, it's so cool. It's so great. I'm like, thanks. But, and that's been like the most impactful thing that I did not expect or really know that was going to happen is like having that platform on TikTok and knowing like that many people have watched me or that tune in and really care about who I am and appreciate my openness, my vulnerability, because you just never know who is watching and who you are, making a difference in their lives too. So that's what I really try to be thankful for, that I do have a platform and that my influence means a lot.
Yes, it definitely does. When you were discussing, like in the beginning of our interview, like going through the changes and having to be a professional athlete, but also what society tries to put on women's bodies, or
Mhm.
and working through all of that. I mean, you do it so
Yeah.
gracefully, and I'm sure young women looking, especially Native women, because
Yeah.
with our, with our spam and tortillas and, like grandma always being like, you need to eat more, but at the
Yes.
trying to get into the westernized standard but having you there as representation is such a big deal. Like even for me
Mhm.
at my age, just seeing you there, it just makes me so happy. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is so good.
Yeah, yeah. And so it was just crazy growing up and not having any really like control or being so young, like you don't know any better. So really growing into like, okay, who am I? What do I like? What do I want to do with my life? But also being the youngest, I was able to just kind of see everything play out in front of me to where when it got the time to where I made decisions for myself, I could really be
Mhm.
like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go this way, or I'm going to be better because I saw people, who I truly loved and cared about so much and wanted to be like, kind of navigate life
Mhm.
in their own way. And whether it did or didn't work out, like I was able to kind of learn from them. And then with the health and nutrition background, learning about my dad and his health issues and how he passed. And then that affects so many people in our communities as a Native person in America today. Like that was super impactful. It's like, okay, that's another layer of just more and more and more of, and then being an athlete of like, okay, now we even have to really, really be focused and be disciplined about every aspect so that we can be at our best when it matters. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot that I've learned. But still, I'm not perfect at all, and I'm always happy to learn from others and to kind of engage with people. So
Oh, I think you're perfect.
no.
But it does give you like all the fact what you're saying now just resonates because it is decision making, all of these decisions. I grew up, both my parents were alcoholics, and I went to live with different family members. But from that, I was like, I am not going to follow in those shoes. And like you said,
Mhm.
you see other people live through their life experiences, and it's mainly a learning moment. Like, okay, or you see the people who are living in a positive, healthy life, and then you
Mhm.
think like, I see that and I want to emulate that. And how do I do that? So like if
Mhm.
people seeing you, they're like, how did she do this? And then you
Yeah.
become, yeah, and you're definitely that role model. So that is so good. A perfect explanation of how we go through life. Because I have one friend who was an addict and he had gotten out of rehab and reached out, and we were like we would go to powwows together when we were young, and um but what he had said was like, to me, it wasn't taking accountability. And it was like, we're in control, we're able
Yeah.
to make these decisions. And then he blocked me.
And that's the hardest part. It's like we do have a lot of generational trauma,
Yes.
and that is true in a parent. And I definitely feel like it impacts a lot of us in very
Mhm.
many different ways. But at the end of the day, like making the decision for the life that you want, whether you have people telling you what to do, knowing right from wrong, I do feel like in a way we're all at a level playing ground with just making the best decisions. But some people don't. And it's really, really hard to see like loved ones go through that, and where you can't just be like, hey, no, stop, and they're going to listen.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's the hardest part. But I feel like all the people around me, I definitely try my best
Mhm.
to help and motivate. But it's really hard if they don't want it for themselves. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And so it's
Exactly.
like the let them theory, but having a big heart and wanting to pour, to give my shirt off my back to someone, it's really hard to see people, not want that for themselves. But
Yeah.
life.
Life, exactly, exactly. I know. I'm right there with you. Oh, you know what? I was wanting to bring up. I saw that you did the campaign with N7 and you did the blanket for Prefontaine.
Yes, the Pendleton.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was talking with my husband about that because I was like, I didn't know he was native. So I looked it up and he's Coos Bay. And I was like, because I remember growing up with that name, Prefontaine, Prefontaine. And it was like and it's like the fact that he was native, I was like, my mind is blown.
Yeah, he does not look when you first at first glance with his mustache and long hair. But
Uh-huh.
he was a crazy runner, and his story is insane. I mean, it's big in the track and field world, but
Yeah.
having the 50th anniversary for this year's Prefontaine Classic and doing their, I want to say it was like a silent auction, but they had the Pendleton pieces in there and some Nike Air Max pieces, and being a part of that, being able to showcase it and kind of tie in me throwing hammer and being an athlete that's participating, but also these brands that are super big. I call it in the Pacific Northwest
Uh-huh.
area.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oregon. Yeah.
So I was like, heck yes, I will do
Uh-huh.
it. Like, this is amazing. So, no, that was really awesome to be a part of.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that is so cool. Out of this whole journey, what has been your favorite part?
I think just being in that leadership role and having the
Mhm.
ability to empower women and to inspire the next generation of athletes, I think that's worth more than any medal will ever be in my career. So just knowing that, I think hopefully how I carry myself and how I go through any trial and tribulation, just being that light for people to know that they can do anything they put their mind to and that hard work pays off. I
Uh-huh.
think that is the most meaningful, purposeful role that I can have in sport. So,
That is beautiful. Okay, so what is next for Janee? What's going on? What do we have? What do we have to look
Oh,
forward to from you?
yes. We hopefully can finish out this season, the 2025 season, super strong. Looking for top three, looking for a medal. We
Uh-huh.
have a bronze and a silver, so we're seeing if we can complete the set in Tokyo, Japan here soon. And then we got postseason vacation. Ooh, I cannot wait. So following Japan,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna go to Thailand. So
Ooh,
just
uh-huh.
right next to it. And then I'm ready for some family time. I got lots of little babies at home in Kansas City.
Aw.
I've missed so many things. So I'm excited to get home to them and just spend rest time with the little ones. So
That sounds so fun. Okay,
yes.
so with your medals, do you carry them around and be like, what do you do with them?
It's like in middle school basketball, you come to school the next day with your championship medal. No, I don't do
Yes.
that. I
Oh, so
safely
good.
just put them away in my file box,
Oh,
and that's
okay.
it.
Or you go to your Comanche tribal council meetings with them on.
Secretly,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. If hopefully we'll manifest, when we get a medal this year at Worlds, and
Uh-huh.
I'll go back to my alma mater for a football game, and I'll have the medal wrapped around for the announcement. So
Uh-huh.
that's probably the only time I'll wear it.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. So now I have three rapid fire questions for you. Okay, what's your uh best post competition meal? I mean, you've been training, and then now
Yeah. I love sushi, and I love just a big juicy steak and mashed potatoes with asparagus and dinner rolls and a side salad with ranch.
that
So
sounds so good. Especially
it's
the
either one of
sushi.
the two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's your go-to roll? Or do you do a roll or?
I love like a spicy tuna roll, and I love like crispy tuna rice. I love anything with crab or shrimp, and the cream cheese. Not the best for my tummy, but we save it for after competition just in
Uh-huh.
case anything arises with the seafood. So
That's true. I didn't even think about
yes,
that.
yes.
Okay, if you could compete in any other Olympic sport than hammer throw, what would it be?
Basketball.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay, totally get that. Okay. And when you are traveling and getting ready for competition, then what is one thing you put in your suitcase?
I would say the hammer, but that's pretty obvious. But now in the past like 2 years, I don't go anywhere without my pickles.
You're what?
My pickles. Oh snap. They came out with like the self packets with just a
Uh-huh.
little bit of the juice, because the issue with traveling, you can have more than 3 or 4 ounces.
Yeah.
And there's no pickle that has like, and I love the juice too. Like the juice is probably my favorite part. So anywhere I get, like for a competition internationally, domestically, I always have at least like 2 packs of pickles on me. So
That's
can never be
awesome.
without. Yeah.
Never be with that. That's just res. Go to
Even the
the
gas
grocery
station
store.
pickle, like I love it.
Have you had a Piccadilly with the
Have
snow
I
cone?
had the Piccadilly?
Yes.
Oh, the snow cone. Mm-mm.
No? Okay. Well, you go look it up. It has pickles on top with Kool-Aid. It's like the weirdest thing on the Navajo Res. It's just like it took off. I don't know.
Oh gosh. When they do pickle flavored things, it never usually turns out just like I was like, just give me the pickle.
Yes, the pickle, the pickle. Well,
Yeah.
Jay, I just so appreciate your time. I love your journey. I love how you carry yourself through the world. Thank you for being on Warm Embers and sharing yourself with us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Pray to the creator, let your spirit